Okay, we're live. Thank you very much for hanging tight there, guys. Just a minute or two late. So let's get into this here. Let's get started and let's get talking about the big story tonight. And that is, regardless of what happens with Sir Jim Ratcliffe's takeover bid, the Glazer family still going to have a lot of control at the club. Look, this is something we knew. This is something we expected because they're not 100% gone. I don't think a lot of us really expected to be seeing Joel Radcliffe on the head of a footballing committee, on the head of a sporting committee because it came out today. It was an interesting report coming out from Financial Times, and they basically had said that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos will not be getting full sporting control of Manchester United. It is effective control. Now, obviously, the terms are quite interchangeable. It doesn't seem like a big difference, but that can really, really make a lot of difference whenever we look at the actual law behind this, behind the actual business side of this, and terminology is everything. So pretty much the proposal we want to go through is what this footballing committee overseeing the sporting exercise of Manchester United would actually look like. It's going to be Sir David Brailsford, it's going to be Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and of course it's going to be Joel Glazer. That's not what we want to see. We don't want Joel Glazer or any of the other Glazer family members anywhere near the sporting side of this football club. And this is something we've known for a long time. Joel Glazer, of course, the man who called Anthony Martial the second Pelé. Yeah, look, I don't think we need his opinion too much on sporting stuff, but it's a concern for me, and it's something we had been saying in the last couple of streams, certainly since this news has come out, really is, where does sporting control end? Where does the Glazer control begin? Where is the line in between that? Because this is a football club. Sport and footballing decisions should be at the very heart of everything we do. But ultimately, you can't make any real sporting decisions in terms of investment and transfers and investment into the stadium and all that good stuff that we want. We can't really do that without tapping into the financial side, the commercial side, because somebody's got to pay for all this. So this is where we're finding ourselves in an interesting position. Look, do I think that in a 2-to-1 board that Ineos will still have the majority control? Yeah, they will. But then the questions come whenever the rest of the board get in. When does the overall remit of the board kick in against this footballing stuff? That's my question. You know, when we consider that, if we want to invest in Old Trafford, we want a new training ground, we want £100 million player, and the board saying no, we want to have a new tractor partner, we want a new noodle sponsor, we haven't got an official club maker of gluten-free bread. Where does that intersect with all that? Now, look, Radcliffe, of course, he isn't just coming in for the sporting stuff. He will be having a large say on every other affair at the football club, as we would expect this would come down with, of course, his overall buying into the club, being a big shareholder in Manchester United. Look, the chats are going in down below. Let me have a check and see what you guys are saying. Thanks for hopping on in with me at the earlier time. And yeah, look, I think we're going to be doing these 7 o'clock shows moving forward. They seem to do quite well over the last few nights. So yeah, we're going to keep this going. So Daniel down below, first and foremost, thing is on this, why would Joel say no if they get the best in class and say in 4 years United are winning more money for the Glazers is a win-win for them? It takes time to think. If he worked with Sir Jim, it'll be interesting to tell us. Yeah, look, it will be for sure. Luman is down below, is saying Glazers and Jim Ratcliffe, same thing. Stephanie says another opportunist enters the arena, saddling us with more debt and misery. I'm not too sure about the debt, but misery maybe. Luman's in the comments as well. Good to see you. And Daz is saying the deal is looking messy. Look, it's always gonna be messy because Manchester United winning trophies, being competitive, spending a lot of money, having the best players, and all that's never really been in the Glazers' interest. Look, it was good for them when that was happening under Sir Alex Ferguson, but that was a team for the most part was already built before the Glazer family took control of Manchester United. It's as profitable for them to go unfinished top 4 and be in the Champions League than it is to win a title, because the extra money you need to go from 4th place to 1st place, that would pretty much cancel out the money you would earn by finishing that little bit higher up the league table. That's why we see them act on sporting decisions, spending more money when we don't finish Champions League, sacking managers if we don't finish Champions League. So that's where their interest kicks in, and it's coming down to the money. Do we think that the Glazers are now suddenly going to go because Jim Ratcliffe's here and say, yeah, look, here, Sir Jim wants to win the league. Yeah, let's do it. I really doubt it. And look, it's not that they haven't gone out of the way to purposely make us bad. It's just that they don't think it's overall worthwhile either. So that's one of the concerns there as well. Look, I was asking you guys in the poll, I want to know your thoughts because it's looking like it's getting messy, as Daz has alluded to as well. And that is, will Radcliffe have any real control with Joel Glazer on that football board? Because whilst we might bring in Paul Mitchell as director of football, whilst we might bring in a whole new recruitment team, some new scouts, and all those infrastructure changes that we want to see, if Joel Glazer is still the guy at the top of it, does that really make too much of a difference? Is that really going to change a lot? I don't know. Will he even allow us to bring those type of people in if it's not in his best interest? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. I guess it will be something that hopefully will become more clear. But I think every day now we're getting more questions than answers. We're getting more interesting news coming out that's what we don't expect, or it's contradicting what was said the day before. I think we need some real answers. I don't think we get them immediately. I feel like we're going to be in this zone of uncertainty probably until Jim Ratcliffe gets ratified, and then I would expect some kind of a public announcement or a public article or some sort of official communication on that that could basically tell us what would be happening in that regard. Because look, there's different stories going about Radcliffe buying 25% of Class A and Class B, giving him more voting power. I don't know. I think it will be interesting to see how this one's going to go down. But guys, as always, want to get your thoughts in down below. Of course, there is a match coming up at the weekend. That's something we want to see as well. But look, in my opinion, Jim Ratcliffe, he's probably got an uphill task. He's probably fighting against the odds here to really wrangle control of this football club. And look, the Glazer family will do what they've always done. They've always been hard to deal with. They've always been difficult customers, and they've always been obnoxious people who don't act in the best interests of the club or even as a business. That it's solely about themselves. And I think a lot of this is ego as well. Make no mistake about it, we should not be having Joel Glazer on any kinds of footballing decisions. The guy has probably watched 5 football matches in his life. He is not the guy to be any way, shape, or form involved in this one. Look, there's an interesting one coming in as well here from the Times. Joel Glazer is expected to remain involved at a sporting level once Sir Jim's stake has been ratified. He will be part of a 3-person footballing committee involving Radcliffe, Sir Dave Brailsford, and of course, Joel Glazer. Sources say it was ridiculous to think the Glazers would relinquish all control while they still maintain a majority share in the club, and Joel currently operates alongside his brother as the co-chairman of Manchester United. I'm telling you, look, these guys are genuinely something else. They really and truly are. I've run out of words to describe the way these guys are operating as well. Coming in, look, from the same Financial Times article as well, Manchester United's commercial operations would remain under Glazer control, although Jim Ratcliffe, as a large shareholder and board director, would command some influence over the overall football club. One source has said Sir Jim is aiming to make a mark quickly on the pitch and to signal to fans that despite the Glazer family remaining as majority owners, his arrival would be a new dawn and a fresh break from the past. I don't know if I'm really buying into this stuff. I really don't. Look, I've had my own opinions for a long time. I've made them very public here on the channel. We all know this already. I've wanted a full sale the entire time. I was never happy with minority investment, with Jim Ratcliffe coming in this style. I always thought if Ratcliffe was coming in, at least buy out the Glazer family. It's getting messy. It's getting very, very messy what's happening now with this takeover. As more and more details come out, as more and more information is made available to us, it's just getting messy. It's getting convoluted. I said as well, look, regardless of the Glazers finding it better if Sir Jim is successful increasing the value of the club, they're still going to butt heads. The Glazers are egotistical guys. They still think that they are number one, and they're going to do whatever they can do to have as much control over this club between now and the time they go as they possibly can, and that's what it's going to come down to. Stephanie's down below. 2 words, not in United's vocabulary or planning and structure. We are a complete mess with all these distractions. 25% investment, Sancho, Greenwood, etc. PR spin. Yeah, look, I would absolutely agree with that, Stephanie. This football club really has been a mess for the longest time. We don't see this at other clubs for the most part. Certainly not teams at our level, at the size of a club we are. I mean, maybe you can put Barcelona in that list, but that's genuinely about it. We should be running so much smoother, so much better than what we have done for the last 20 years. And look, this Radcliffe buyout, it's looking more and more likely that it's just foot in the door. I don't think we're going to see the big changes we've wanted to see. Look, Mike Keegan has wrote on this as well. I want to bring you up. Mike Keegan has said, he has said it is hoped the investment in Man United of around 1.4 billion by Jim Ratcliffe will be ratified at a board meeting due to be held this afternoon. However, lawyers are continuing to work on the fine details of what is a complex agreement. Club insiders and financial insiders have indicated a final agreement could take weeks and it might not be ratified until next month's board meeting. Now, that's more concerning as well for me. Look, I've been reading up on it today. I think Sam Peoples did a really good video on United People's TV as well. If anyone who hasn't checked that out, I would recommend it. So he basically said one of the ideas floated was that Manchester United could release more stock and Radcliffe could buy that. It could mean he would buy up more of the shares quicker, and it could also mean that United would have that money to invest because Radcliffe would essentially be buying from himself. I think that's the only way we get any kind of funding in the next couple of months, but that situation is not going to change too soon. Mike Keegan, in the exact same article, said United not planning any major signings. So if there's a 35-year-old Dutch forward who's a free agent or some player who hasn't kicked the ball all season who needs to go on loan, will probably be in for those players again. So maybe Weghorst comes back as for a second year in a row. Maybe that's where we are heading in the upcoming transfer window. Who else have we got down below, guys? Daz is saying at the end of the day, 25% wasn't going to do anything. Look, it was always meant to be a foot in the door. It was always meant to be a way for him to try push his way back into Manchester United and try to eventually get control. Look, the Glazers got full control from 3%. It can be done, but I mean, he's gonna have to have circumstance. I hope beyond all hope that Radcliffe has some kind of agreement in place that he will buy all of the Glazer shares up in their entirety, that they get off the board and we get them out of this club. But at the minute, this 25% seems to be doing less and less every day. And look, whilst there might not be a big technical difference language-wise between full control and effective control over the sporting operations, that could be big. That could be big because that gives Joel Glazer the room to wrangle himself onto that footballing board and say that, nah, do you know what? I like Richard Arnold. Richard Arnold has always been a good friend of the Glazer family. We want to keep him. John Murda is always something we've told him, so let's not get rid of him. So unless it comes as, if it doesn't come with some kind of veto, if Joel Glazer's there just blocking everything, then all this has been completely pointless. Let me see who we got down below. Hot Fuzz is in there. Big ups. Joel Glazer probably tried to get Radcliffe just to put money in and have no influence on the sporting decisions at the club. Look, that's entirely possible as well. Look, I really don't think it's a good thing having Joel Glazer in and amongst those sporting decisions. And look, make no mistake about it, Radcliffe, we already know, will not be overly involved in the day-to-day running of Manchester United. Dave Brailsford will probably be picking up most of that slack. It will be put through a new structure, which we do really need. But I'm asking as well, how much control is Radcliffe going to be able to exert? How much change can we really see on 25%? I don't know. It's kind of like if we think about government at the minute, it could be like Keir Starmer saying that he's got all these brilliant plans and he's going to get them through Parliament, and it's like, you don't even have the most seats at the table. How are you going to get anything done? You're not going to pass too many laws. You're not going to make a lot of change. Not until you become the biggest party at that table or in the decision making process do you find yourself with the ability to do that. So that's a concern for me, absolutely. Liman is saying we wanted Glazers gone but are staying. We didn't want Radcliffe but is coming. We wanted Qatar but aren't coming. We want Rashford not to start but he will. We want youngsters to start but they won't. Yeah, look, that's the life of a Manchester United fan at the minute, man. It really is. Not a lot of the things we want don't come true, so maybe we should start hoping for the things we don't want, and maybe some reverse psychology and luck will kick in. So Fresh is saying, what's happening with Casemiro? Is there a replacement for him at the weekend? Yeah, so there is news on Casemiro. So Casemiro will be missing the Sheffield United match with injury. He will also be missing Copenhagen on Tuesday. So that's going to be 2 matches missed by Casemiro. He probably will be back for the Manchester derby, not this weekend, but the weekend after. But thankfully, Sofian Amrabat has trained, so I would expect Amrabat to come into the team and play in that number 6 role. Kobe Mainoo back in training as well. That's good to see. Satwant is saying, Man United will never win a Premier League anymore. We're finished. Rajat says, oh, dang, yeah, look, people reacting to the news. I mean, can we really say we're surprised? I don't know if we can. Not at this point. I think Joel Glazer having anything to do with the sporting control is just so bad for this club. And like a lot of us thought, look, if Radcliffe comes in and at least there's sporting people making sporting decisions, that would make a difference in the short term, and then we can buy them up. I maybe we were hoping for the best, but to go from full control to effective control, look, it's a 2-to-1 split because I'm assuming Brailsford will vote with Radcliffe on pretty much everything in that regards. But my concern is what's going to happen. What is going to happen if Joel Glazer has a veto and can say, Joe, what? I don't want to do this, so we're not doing it. That's my concern. Time Sport have also added tonight the makeup of Manchester United's potential footballing committee. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Dave Brailsford and Joel Glazer means the power will ultimately be with Ratcliffe and Brailsford, but sources say it was ludicrous to think the Glazers would surrender all control of the sporting operations. So I guess that's going to be an interesting one to see how that plays out. If it's a token role, if it's just to be there as a representative of the Glazer family, whilst that's disappointing, I mean, I guess that's better than Joel Glazer having a vote. This is the guy who thought Anthony Martial would be the next Pele. This is the same guy who, for a long time at Manchester United, was making the business calls, turned down some really good players. He was one of the reasons we didn't sign Toni Kroos and Cesc Fabregas as well. So that's a concern for me. Drop a like on the video as well. We're up to 19, guys. Can we get up to 20 or beyond, maybe? Sorry for that. Stephanie says, well, Arsenal, Liverpool fans are not happy with their owners, but I would snap their hands off swapping ours. Arteta and Klopp are backed. Yeah, look, they've got the structure around them. You know, they have a sporting director who knows what they're doing. They have scouts and recruitment. They pick up players we don't pick up. There have been players who've went to Arsenal and City, Liverpool, Brighton as well, who Manchester United probably didn't know existed. That's probably a depressing fact about all this, but it genuinely might be it as well. Who else have we got down below? Ronnie is saying, do you think he'll be back at Old Trafford this season again with the Glazers still running the show? Yeah, look, I will be. I've already bought my tickets and stuff. Although it went through like a travel agency as well. So that will be one thing as well. Drop a like on the video, guys. We can see loads of people hopping on in here reacting to the news. Joel Glazer said to have some sort of a face, some kind of a vote on the footballing decisions. Is this another big disappointment for us? I think we gotta say it is at this point, guys. Get voting on the poll as well. We had asked you guys, will Radcliffe have any real measure of control with Joel Glazer on the footballing board? The options are yes, no, or unsure. At the moment, 50% are saying no, 25% going for unsure, and 25% going for no as well. Let's see as well. So Fresh says, who will play left back if Amrabat is filling in Casemiro's position? Yeah, Regulon is back as well, so that's good news there. So at least we're gonna have a left back. We'll have a CDM, so maybe we'll get 11 players out if we're lucky. If not, if any of you guys are in the Sheffield area, turn up to Bramall Lane wearing a United top. Maybe bring a pair of boots. You might get on for 20 minutes as a sub at this rate of going. Um, Big T, good to see you, man. Hope all's good. Liverpool. Rajat says Liverpool have won the Premier League. From 2013. Yeah, that they have as well, of course. So look, that was another disappointment. But yeah, guys, let me know the thoughts on that one. Just to bring you guys some team news coming out for the upcoming matches. Sergio Regulon back in training. Kobbie Mainoo back in training. Amrabat back in training, not injured, so that's good. I feel like this is the second time Amrabat went away to Morocco, said he was injured, got sent home, and he actually wasn't injured. So if he's doing that just to come out and make sure he's playing for United nice and fit, I have no problem with that at all. Højlund back in training as well. Interestingly enough, though, no sign of Jadon Sancho at the moment. There are breaking stories on that one. Want to go through some of them. Big T is down there. Had a busy day. Need to catch up. He's reporting. Joel is on the sporting club, on the sporting board. Yeah, Big T, man. So that's coming in. Financial Times and the Times newspaper as well have reported that today. So let me just quickly go through those quotes for anyone who might have missed that there one. So coming in from Financial Times today. Let me just quickly load up the stuff because I had the quotes literally like a minute ago. Joel Glazer is expected to be involved at the sporting level once Sir Jim Ratcliffe's stake has been ratified. He will be part of a footballing committee comprising Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford. Sources say it was always ridiculous to think the Glazer family would relinquish all control when they retain the majority share in the club. Joel currently operates alongside his brother Avram as the co-chairman of Manchester United, so he's going to be involved. That's coming in from Financial Times, coming in as well from the Times newspaper. So pretty much confirmed from most sources that that will be the case. So they're going to have a say in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully it's not a big one. Hopefully it's just a token thing where we can say, yeah, look, yeah, Joel's part of that decision making. So maybe that gets things pushed through easier with Avram and the other Glazer family. I don't know. I don't know how that one's going to pay out as well. I guess time will tell us on that one. Rashad says, do not think, have a big doubt the board is going to replace Jadon. And Ronnie says, the Glazer family still running the show. All I expected for the next lot of years, Europa League football at best. There we have it, guys, as well. Look, it's disappointing news, make no mistake about it. And it's not what we wanted. I remember 12 months ago, it was one of the first live shows I ever did. And literally, I was so excited about the thought of the Glazer family going that I was on live for like 2.5 hours and we were just talking and going through it over and over again. But I think it's an interesting one. I think Joel Glazer having any football in control is going to be a bad thing for us. I really do. Hopefully it's a token role. Hopefully it's nothing too serious in that regard. But we're going to find out. We will find out on that one. Big T says, if my boss said publicly I didn't work hard enough and I believed it, did I say something publicly? I'm not apologize. So my boss was Sancho on this one. Look, you know, I get that opinion. I do. I just don't think that the Sancho situation's ever really going to go away until either apologizes, Eric Ten Hag gets sacked, or Sancho is sold. I think that's the only three ways out of this. It was interesting though. There's a video going around. United had their they had the the team season photo shoot in the middle of October. I mean, that just feels all kinds of wrong as well. But yeah, look, that's another one as well. Sancho omitted from that. So look, there's talk about him going on loan in January, maybe going back to Borussia Dortmund. I don't know what's going to happen there. Would like to know what you guys think. What do you guys think should happen with Sancho? Let me know down below, guys. David is down there. Thanks for nothing. Scabrat out. And James O'Neill is saying that it do the same pattern and cash on the fantasy players, sack the manager every 2 years. Same pattern. Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. Absolutely, James. You know, it really is. It from the top to the bottom. It's bring a manager in, we get a bounce, we sign some players. They finish Champions League. Then the Glazer family say you're good enough for top four. we're not gonna get you your first choice targets. And then what we find happens after that is we fail to finish top four. The players turn against the manager. Manager gets sacked, and this the cycle just goes on and on and on and on. It's so frustrating as well, guys. Really is. Stephanie is down there. We must beat Sheffield and not be optimistic. Must win and a lot of musts in there. Absolutely, Stephanie. And I think the fact that we're even having to say that we can't afford to drop points against Sheffield kind of shows how this season's been going from top to bottom. Like, it really has been a bad start to the season. Really, really poor. And I would completely agree with that. We've got to turn up. We've got to score some goals and build some more confidence. Look, that result against Brentford has to be the turning point in this season. From there, it has to be improved, has to be getting better. And I guess we're going to find out what happens. Big T says, realistically, would any business owner sell a 25% share and not be on the board in some way? Sport is part of the business. They probably want to be present in sports just to keep an eye. Yeah, look, I would agree with that as well. I would agree with you as well on that one, Big T, because it's frustrating as well. I think whenever we saw talk of full sporting control, as we know, Glazers have never really had a vested interest in the overall sporting side. If we're looking development of players, recruitment, we're talking the overall structure, having a plan in place. They've never really been interested in that. A lot of it always has been the bottom line stuff. What's the profits? How much money are we getting for our dividends? Can I buy myself a new yacht this week? You know, that's been what a lot of the questions have been, and that's where a lot of their interest has come from. Do I think that sport would be separated from football completely? No, I don't think it can. You can't really separate the sporting side from the football club because it's a football club. You know, by its definition, the sport is where the money is made. It's from the TV revenues, from the sponsorships. Those go up, those go down, depending on how good the team's going as well. So that's going to be an interesting one to see what happens there. Hopefully, we're going to find ourselves in a situation where this Joel Glazer role is just a token role, where he's just going to be showing up to meetings and signing off and stuff. Hopefully, he's not really going to have too much of a say, unless they give him some kind of a veto, because a veto would worry me. Otherwise, in a three-man committee with Joel Glazer being the only Glazer family member there, he's going to get outvoted by Brailsford. He's going to get outvoted by Ratcliffe 2-1, pretty much on everything. So unless he has some sort of a veto that it has to be a unanimous decision, hopefully that's not going to be too negative. But I think even just the vibe of it just feels all kinds of wrong. Rajat says, done with the rat infested room we have. Definitely is as well, man. Who else we got down below as well? David is saying Scab Rats United will be in the championship within 3 years. James is saying as well, the hole in Old Trafford getting bigger. We need to invest in youth and do it the Busby way, the Ferguson way, the United way. Yeah, look, we do. Investing in the youth is really, really important. From the youngest of age groups. We brought in a guy today called, I think it's David Clark, or maybe it's Ben Clark. I think he's going to be like in charge of under 12 recruitment. So if we're genuinely going that deep in it, I think that's good. I think that's going to help us as well. And look, you got to start early. You got to get players in as young as possible, really, at the club. So that way you're not missing out on them. But I do think United need to watch the model. I think the model needs to change as well. I think we're getting luck with players locally, but I think as well what we could be doing and what we should be doing is going to some of these other top youth producing teams as well. The likes of the Ajaxes. The Belgian league's really good for these types of clubs. The French league, even the Spanish league. Look, we bought Garnacho from Atletico Madrid. We bought Hannibal Mejbri from Monaco as youth players, and I came into that setup. And we did that really because it allowed us to work our way past the Glazer family and their interest in it as well. And it worked because those are two important players for United now. So hopefully we can follow up that model, keep changing up the youth teams as well on that one. Lucky Singh down below in the comments. I'm not worried about the newspapers making headlines. Nothing serious about it. Look, I would trust Financial Times because that's kind of putting out the news to the investors and stuff. So they would probably have an inside source at Ineos and Manchester United as well. So I would listen to those kind of institutions. Big T says for Sancho to leave, he has to agree. He's clearly stubborn of the club, push him too much. He could have dug his heels in and refused to leave and take his wage. Rob's is saying, fast forward from 2022, we went from Glazers to the Glazers with Ineos propping them up. I mean, look, there's definitely elements of that as well. Rob, make no mistake about it. Tampa Guy says Glazers still have 56% of controlling shares. They have 69%. He's getting 12.5 in Class D stock shares. Yeah, I think it'll be 25%. Hopefully, see, it wasn't really made 100% clear. And until we have a public announcement on it, I wouldn't expect to really have the clarification on that, but it probably is going to work out 25% overall voting power in some way, shape, or form with the Class A's, Class B's, not those type as well. I know what you guys are thinking. I'm going to have to say Class A shares as well. Let me see. Rajat says 46 plan on leaving. Jadon isn't going to terminate the deal. No, I don't think he will. I think he expects to outlast Eric Ten Hag at the club. I think we're going to find out on that one. Let's see. Luman saying, now that Sheikh Yassim is not buying our club, is it in the best interest of the club? Hopefully that we perform poorly, so that the Glazers and Radcliffe have no option to sell. I don't think so either, Luman. Unless we're genuinely getting relegated, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. It's as they're still making money regardless if we finish first in the league or 7th or 8th. Like, that's genuinely how rigged the game is as well at this point. Let me see. Big T, Bellingham doing it in Europe. Could he do it in the Premier League? I think he could. I think he's got the size and the athleticism. I know that Sancho was an interesting one because Sancho has he's always really lacked that explosive pace. I know he's a player who does play like wide. Done it at Dortmund, did really well. Maybe wasn't quite what a lot of people thought he was going to be in that regard. I know he obviously didn't play Premier League. I think Bellingham's different. Obviously, come through at Birmingham, played a lot of matches in that first season in the Championship for them. So I would expect Jude Bellingham could definitely do it in the Premier League, but you might never see it. He's at Real Madrid now. He has said that he's very happy where he is, and he does seem to be enjoying the continental life as well. Dortmund, now Madrid. He'll probably be there for a long time. Madrid don't sell players whenever there's still a lot of use to them as well. Rajat says Koshku or Levy would have been a great signing. Yeah, that absolutely would do, man. Bellingham to win Ballon d'Or, not this year, but next year. I think that's a good one. I can't lie, like, I think it's a little bit ridiculous that Messi's going to win this Ballon d'Or. I know he won the World Cup, but he's played most of the year of 2023 in the MLS. I just think that's a little bit, I don't know. I think I'd probably be giving it to Haaland, like, in all fairness. Let me see as well. Rajat says, good and friends, United FC. We're up to 30 likes as well, guys. Thanks very much for that one. But yeah, look, let's move on really quickly from Jim Ratcliffe. Let's get talking about Sheffield United. Let's get talking about what we've got to do in the next couple of weeks. We've got 3 matches within the next, 8 or 9 days? We play Sheffield United on Saturday. That's a must-win match. Have to win that match. Copenhagen, again, must win unless you don't care about the Champions League. So we got to beat Copenhagen. Then we go up against Man City. Look, City play Brighton at the weekend. That will be difficult. They might actually lose 4 on the bounce. It's entirely possible. I would be surprised if that was the case, but we'll find out on that one. And then, of course, we play City next week at Old Trafford. That will be such a test. And I'm not looking forward to it. Like, I'm really, really not. Rajat says Messi doesn't rely on pace. Yeah, look, that's true as well. I think what Messi does have, though, that Sancho has definitely lacked is the end product. And I think Sancho's lack of goals and assists really have been an issue. I know that Anthony hasn't got a lot either as well, but I don't think either of those players have done enough for Manchester United. Realistically, Jadon Sancho or Anthony should be putting up at least 10 goals a season. Like, should be hitting double figures for goals and assists. There really should be. Especially now with Højlund in the team, there's no excuse not to be getting crosses into the box. He will win those headers. he can run in behind as well. We finally got a striker. I guess we're going to find out. I hope Hoyland has a good match against Sheffield United. Would love to see it. Maybe him scoring 2 or 3 goals would be quite a nice way to come back into the Premier League. But we expect nothing. Rodri is back for City as well. Brighton might have more possession than City, says Big T. I mean, they might do. We know they like possession-based football, Brighton, and we know City love to have the football as well. So we're going to find out in that regard. That'll be an interesting match for sure. I think City have struggled with the pressing a little bit this season. Without Rodri in their last few matches, no De Bruyne, that kind of hurt them. I think that's probably part of the reason why we're seeing Haaland not scoring as many goals this year as well, is starved of that Kevin De Bruyne service as well. But look, guys, want to get talking as well. I want to check as well for some of the latest news coming out for the Manchester United stuff. Let me see, who else have we got down below? Man Utd is, I've started drinking gin because of Sir Jim. Look, I don't blame guys, honestly. Yeah, look, it might be time to get on the beers, like it might be at this point. Not celebratory ones either. Rashad says 10 or 15 goals is expectation. Yeah, look, I think that's probably got to be the expectation for Sancho and for Anthony. I would even say Rashford 100% has to do up. Bruno, we would like to think Mount can end up with 10 across the season. I think his form's improving somewhat, but I want to see him get his first goals, obviously. But we're going to find out at the weekend how the international break has fared out for our players. Hopefully not too badly. I think we might see a better Casemiro when he comes back against Man City. He's a player who's really struggled for form this year, but I think having Sheffield United off at the weekend and then going into Copenhagen, missing that match as well, so that could be quite a long break for him. Obviously, coming back from injury is probably a good time for him. Maybe not to be playing those matches, and it means we're going to get to see Amrabat as well. That's something I'm looking forward to. Amrabat playing in that defensive midfield role by himself. I think we're going to see a better version of Sofyan Amrabat for sure. Let's see. Stefan says Rashir Garnacho to start against Sheffield. That's an interesting one, Stephanie. I would maybe. There's part of me thinks Garnacho on the left and Rashford on the right. I think Rashford has got some assists this year, and some of them have been off the right-hand side, because when he's on that side, he can't just cut in on his right foot and run into 4 defenders. He has to actually cross the ball. Maybe that's something we could look at against Sheffield. Look, we want to play wide against these guys. We really do. Honestly, look, I would love to see, just for one match, just even try it out. Put Anthony on the left, Rashford on the right, and see what happens. Will they be crossing the ball more? Anthony, really good left foot, but no right foot. But that means he's a crossing winger on that left-hand side. Maybe that could be something different we could try. I think most important thing, making that pitch big at Bramall Lane. They're going to want to sit in, defend well, like they always try to do. Let me see, who have we got down below, guys? Tampa says, City game worries me. That could get ugly. It absolutely could do. Make no mistake about it. Again, look, I feel like I've said it like 10 times tonight as well, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and find out and see what happens in that one. It could get ugly. United could also beat City. I'd be surprised if we did, given how we've played this year. But we're gonna find out. Like Big T says, I think there's more chance we lose against Sheffield and City. The derby is a different game, and we're often victors. Now I reckon we beat Sheffield. Sheffield are one of the worst teams I've seen in the league for a while. And look, even Luton Town and Burnley, like those teams altogether, all the teams who came up, really, really, really poor. Probably the worst set I can remember for quite a while. Because I think recent years, we've had the likes of Wolves come up, be pretty stable for the most part. Brentford as well. Of course, Brighton. All these teams coming up in recent years, really, and doing well for themselves in the Premier League. The guys have come up, Burnley, Luton, Sheffield, they have been really poor, but that's exactly why we might find ourselves dropping points as well. Let me see. Rashad says, can we veto Jim's 25%? I hope so. Stephanie says, not victory, Jim, 1984, George Orwell reference. Let's see. So Fresh is saying Rodri back this weekend for City. Can't see us getting any results in that game. If we lose against Sheffield this weekend, be really pissed about that. Yeah, look, I would agree with that, man. It's absolutely must win. Sheffield are not a good team at all. Amrabat has to play, says Rajat. Yeah, I want to see Amrabat in there as well. Stephanie says Anthony on the left. Totally agree. Let's try it. I mean, there's no harm trying. There really isn't. And when things aren't going well, that's the kind of time you want to try things. People always say, don't fix what's not broken, but if it's broke, you got to fix it. Let's give it a go and find out what Anthony can do on that side. It might work out really well, or it might just not work at all. At least we'll know the answer to that one. Big T says Anthony is the number 10. I want Garnacho on the left. I wouldn't look. I think there was a good chance we could have seen Sancho at number 10 this year. I think that might have been something interesting for him. I think Anthony number 10 might be interesting. Playing him in central areas, it would probably mean that he would go and drift naturally towards the right. We don't really have that too much in the team as well. I guess Mount does it to an extent, but not as much as maybe we would want to see either as well. Drop a like on the video as well, guys. We're up to 34 likes on the stream. Can we get up to 40 likes as well on this one as well, guys? If you haven't already, don't forget, hit that sub button as well, guys. We're very close. We have, 2,029 subscribers on the channel. Really, really good to have all you guys on here as well. Much appreciated, as always. Let's see. Luman is saying, when I see Stephanie, Rajat, and Lucky on one stream, I get emotional. Yeah, look, it's good to have all the OG guys in here as well. Of course, big supporters of the channel. Much, much appreciated. Really is. And Rajat says, Bruno and Mount cancels each other out, it looks like. Yeah, look, I think it's interesting. I don't think we've seen the best of Bruno Fernandes this year. I think there's more to come from Mount. I think Mount's performances have been improving. I will say that as well. I think certainly, again, probably since the match, what one was that? I can't even remember the matches we won this year. I think maybe because Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup, I think he got an assist. He played well in that one. I think he looks a little bit better. I think getting his first goal will really help him. If he gets that, it'll definitely boost his confidence. Can Mount and Bruno play together, says Luman. I think they can. I think they can with the right player behind them. I don't think Casemiro has been that this season. And it's not that he can't get better, because we know how good he can be, but so far this year, he really, really has not been doing good. Luman says, Big T to unblock him. I don't know if Big T's got you unblocked as well, man. But yeah, look, I think Mount Bruno, I think that does work. I think it can work. I think we just need to find the balance. I think one of the main problems we've had this year is Lisandro Martinez. And look, you might be saying, how does that affect Mount and Bruno? But Lisandro Martinez has been a really important player for United. And without Martinez, we don't have an aggressive centre back. And with that, you find this happens. You'll have Varane and you'll have Lindelof. And what happens is both players want to drop back and stand off because they're not aggressive defenders. And what happens then is whenever they drop back, that leaves a lot of space behind Casemiro. Casemiro then cannot cover all that space by himself as well. Obviously, he's got issues on the ball as well. But look, this is purely positional if we want to go all tactical with it. But when your backline's here and Casemiro's here, there's a big, big space in behind him. So he's always trying to take the ball high up the pitch from the centre backs or dropping in, and then he'll find Mount and Bruno are too far ahead of him. So it's just about finding the balance there. But I think it can work. I think Amrabat might be a better candidate for that job. I guess we'll find out. We might see something totally different on Saturday night. We really might. Look, it might be McTominay playing for all we know, but I think it'll be Sofyan Amrabat in there for sure. Let me see who else we got down below. Lucky saying new promotion Sheffield. We have to spread the ball out. Yeah, look, make the pitch big. Don't let them park the bus. Don't let them sit back and defend. And from there, you hit them. You hit them wide. You stretch the pitch. And having a left back like Reguilon, that'll really help in that regards, because not having a left back has really hurt the left-hand side. And the right-hand side doesn't make enough goals and assists as it is anyway. So we got issues to solve. Hopefully, Regulon coming back, hopefully, Amrabat coming back will help with those problems. I think it will be interesting. I would like to know what you guys as well. What do you think is going to happen with the actual team? What are you guys predicting? If you had to go for predicted 11 right now, what could you guys be saying? Because I think it'll be Onana, I think Dillo, I think Varane, Maguire, and Regulon, Amrabat, Mount, Bruno, Rashford on the left, probably, Hoyland through the middle, and maybe Anthony on the right. That's what I think will play. It might be something different. Let me see if we got down below. Stephanie saying, will Scott McGold start or another Impact sub appearance? I don't think he starts. I think he might come on, but I will say this. Look, I know McTominay has been getting the headlines for scoring goals, but in the kind of positions that we play him, I still don't think he's good enough. He played against Brighton, he had about 20 passes. I think he's averaged around 15 to 20 passes per match this season. And that's in midfield. That's not good enough for a team that's meant to be having most of the possession. That's an issue there. Rajad says Casemiro will get back to form. It's about when. And Big T says, I think McTominay deserves to play on recent form. Mount on the right wing, says Rajad. Look, we might say that. I think... Hold on one second, guys. Yeah, but look, I think against a small team like Sheffield, who'll be happy to sit back and take a point, happy to defend their penalty box, I think we want to go wide, and I think that's the best way to open up teams like that. If you watch Man City, they don't have any issues breaking down low blocks, and it's because their wide players are right on the touchline. That's something we need to get better at. I think Rashford comes inside far too much. I think Anthony comes inside far too much. I think, yeah, look, if you have Dillo and Regulon, you'll get the overlaps. Maybe that adds some more width, but it's going to be congested. We're going to have a lot of the ball. Expect 60% plus possession here. So I think it's about being patient. I think it's about making the opportunities for ourselves, finding the spaces, hitting them when we can, and most importantly, take the chances as and when they come as well. We can't be wasteful, because the longer the match goes on at 0-0 or whatever the score might be, the more confidence Sheffield will get, and with a home crowd, they're going to fancy themselves, because we haven't been that good this year. Big T says, would I rest Onana for Sheffield, let him refresh his mind for Champions League? I think we probably try to play him through it. I think Sheffield, I think that's one thing they might do, is try to target him with crosses and shots into the box, stuff like that, put the ball on top of him. Hopefully he's managed to bounce back from his confidence issues, because it hasn't been a good start either. I would be curious to see what Bayern Dare would look like in goals as well, but maybe there's a reason why he's not playing yet. Maybe he's not ready for it. Le Man says, if I was Ten Hag, would I start Rashford? If I was Ten Hag, I would like to see Garnacho given a go. I think Sheffield's the kind of match you can do it. I don't think we need Rashford necessarily to beat Sheffield. Look, he scored a goal for England against Italy. It was a good goal. Maybe his confidence will be higher as well. But even in that goal as well, there was some of the same problems we've seen a lot as well from Rashford, and that is picking out the passes, because he probably should have tried to pick out Jude Bellingham or Harry Kane in that goal in particular. But if his confidence high, I don't think his confidence could be much lower going into the international break. So maybe it's what he needed. I guess we'll find out. Look, it's a really big month. This October into November stretch up until the next international break will be so key for what's going to happen for the rest of the year. And if we can get Bruno on form, if we can get Rashford on form, that's going to help us out a lot as well. Stephanie says, our 9 Premier League goals this season, only 1 from a forward, Rashford, and 1 from a defender for Varane. 7 from midfielders. Hopefully Hoyland breaks the duck. Yeah, he does, absolutely. Big T says, you're supposed to try to get the ball around the goalkeeper. With Onana, you should at him. Yeah, look, I feel like he's just making his own problems as well. So I don't know what his problem is. Look, maybe he needs to start doing some forearm work or whatever, because it does... I think my friend said it looks like his hands are made of poppadoms. It's kind of hard to disagree with that at times as well. Yeah, guys, we're up to 39 likes. Can we get up to 40? Only takes 1 second to like, and it takes 2 seconds to like and subscribe. Helps the channel, helps the stream. and it means you join in with this amazing community on the channel here. Um, Let me see. Rajat says we can have Rashford 30 to 40 minute playing. Yeah, look, maybe we take Rashford off half time, maybe 60 minutes. That's kind of what we've been doing most part in the last couple of weeks. He's been coming off quite early. I don't think that's a bad idea. Big T says Rashford a better impact sub than starter. Yeah, look, I guess you can make that argument. I would also say as well, like Garnacho is probably in the same boat as well. He's a player who does sometimes struggle when he plays a full 90 minutes, but the only way to work through that is by playing 90 minutes, and you'll build up the fitness and you'll build up your resolve and your mentality and the sharpness and stuff. Rajat says one Varane with Maguire, Varane, or Evans. I think maybe Lindelof. Um, yeah, I think this might be a match for Harry Maguire. I think that might be a match to put Harry Maguire into the team. I think we need someone to be aggressive in defence. I don't think Sheffield are going to be attacking us too much, so we will have to watch out for the counter. But I think one of their main avenues for success is going to be corner kicks, crosses into the box, set pieces, free kicks. I think that's where you want to have Harry Maguire as well in that team. Maybe that's why McTominay might play. Big T says McTominay and Holland as a front two would be interesting. Maybe it could be. Maybe it could be. Stephanie's just posted about the poll as well. Let me check this. What have we got? Has Radcliffe any real control with Joel Glazer on the football board? I had asked you guys. 19% said yes, 19% said unsure, and 62% going for no. I think he will have mostly control. I'm just worried if he's got some sort of veto, Joel Glazer, he can say no to things. Big T says Garnacho has time to improve. Rashford should already be there. Completely agree with that. Rashford's 25 years old, so he should be a more mature player at this point. And we should be seeing what we've seen from him last year, which was goal contributions, assists. I mean, the guy got 30 goals, 11 assists last year. We know he can do it. I think that's my big frustration with Marcus Rashford is we know he's capable of it. It's not that the talent isn't there. It's not that the ability isn't there, but he just doesn't do it often enough. He goes through these long runs of form where he's so frustrating to watch as well. Rajat says big head to play, and that is against his ex-relegated team. Yes, of course, he did start off at Sheffield United, did Harry Maguire. So yeah, look, I think we got to put Maguire in there just to defend the box, clear those headers, because that's Sheffield are not going to outplay us in terms of technical quality on the ball. They're just not. What they can hurt us is by attacking in the air, by attacking from post, back post, and if we have a small back line out there, I would be concerned. But Maguire in there makes sense for that one. Interesting stuff as well coming in from Times Sport. The process is progressing as planned, including set aside funds for Old Trafford's redevelopment. Joel Glazer expects to be involved at the sporting level once Jim Ratcliffe's stake has been ratified. He will be part of a 3-person footballing committee, including himself, Jim Ratcliffe, and Sir Dave Brailsford. I think it's interesting Old Trafford renovations getting talked about already. I wonder if that means it's going to be a cosmetic job. Which is not what we want to see. You know, we want to see big redevelopments or even a new stadium, some people. So I would be concerned if they're getting the money together so quickly on that one. But I guess we're going to find out what's going to happen there. I think most importantly, it can't rain through the roof. We can't have the stadium rust. We can't have the toilets flooding as they have been for a long time at the club. Let me see who's down below. Greg is down there. Hopefully no mistakes from Onana at the weekend. He needs a good game and confidence boost. Yeah, he does. He needs some confidence. A clean sheet would be good for him. Big T says if Onana has another howler, would anyone disagree that he needs to be benched? I still think I could disagree, and I think it's because we don't know what we've got with Altay Bayandere. Fenerbahce fans weren't too impressed with him. I mean, and other than that, it's Tom Heaton. So I guess out of the keepers we have, he's probably still by far the best. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully he has a clean sheet, and I hope he's a good match. he shouldn't be overly busy. Stephanie says clean sheet would be handy for Onana. Pardon the pun. Yeah, absolutely, it would be. And Liman says, would I call Sheikh Yassim stingy? No, I wouldn't call him. I don't think I could call anybody who's paid 5.5 billion for a football club stingy. I guess, look, you can be disappointed that he didn't pay the extra money to get everything done, but I mean, the goalposts kept moving as well in that regard. So I can get his frustration. I can completely understand why he walked away from Manchester United's takeover race. Let me see as well, guys. Here we got 40 likes on that as well. Do I watch United Stand? Yeah, I watch United Stand. Sometimes I will watch People's TV as well. Usually in the morning. If I'm quiet at work, I'll put my headphones in and put United People's TV on. But yeah, look, I watch some United Stand. Not too much, because I mean those guys put out like 3 or 4 streams a day, 2 videos, and about 10 shorts. Like they've got a panel of about 10 people on that channel. Like it's genuinely ridiculous, genuinely mad as well. Why didn't we get Raya or Costa? I think we probably still should have got Diogo Costa. I think he was a better goalkeeper than Onana. He's as good as Onana with the ball at his feet, but a better overall keeper. He would have been my first choice personally, but I still think the Onana project can work out. I think he can. You can think David De Gea was still a problem, and Onana not be the solution to that. If that's how it works out as well. Lucky says Onana so far he's not performing. He needs match practice. Big T says Yassim calls himself a fan. He has the money to remove Glazers and chose not to. I can't see that past him. Yeah, look, I completely understand. I think Sheikh Yassim himself lost quite a bit of money when Credit Suisse went bankrupt. I think maybe if his father was more willing and more of a fan of football, it would have been done, because he seemed to be pretty happy just to leave it to Sheikh Yassim himself, just to solve out the takeover and the deal itself. But ultimately, it was their team as well who were mainly involved, and it didn't really seem to get going too much. Sean says Costa is not great on crosses and is expensive. Yeah, look, he was a more expensive option. I feel like we could teach him how to come out and claim the crosses as well, probably more so. Um, I think that's less of an issue than some of the mistakes Onana's made, but I think Onana will prove to be a good signing. I do. I think he will be. Lucky says this is high level football, not a kid's game. Yeah, look, that's true as well. Look, it's very much like United. It's sink or swim, like it is. Big T says, did you see Jim's personal net worth listed at more than Man City's? We'll be second richest club after Newcastle with Jim. I mean, yeah, look, it's not that Jim Ratcliffe's broke at all. It's not that he doesn't have more money in his wallet right now than any of us probably will earn in our lifetime. But I don't know. I think people kind of were drawn to the thought of limitless money like you might get with Qatari ownership or whatever ownership is going to be. I think Radcliffe comes in, if he puts 50, 100 million pounds in for a summer transfer window, I don't think that's really needed. Like, I don't. I think United earned so much money that without the debt, without these FFP issues, we could easily outmatch the likes of Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Newcastle in the market with what they're paying and stuff. And we're close already. Look, it's not a money spending issue. It's how we're spending it. That's the big thing. We've just been pissing money up the wall for the last 10 years. And that's been disappointing as well. Sean says this is a Jim Ratcliffe legacy move. He's not here to ruin the club, and no patsy to the Glazers. It might well be. It might be his big passion project that he has towards his retirement, that he has towards moving away from a lot of the business stuff. Maybe this is what he wants to do, get United back on track. We're gonna find out, to use that phrase for the 1000th time in this show, but like, it's genuinely one of those things. Only time's gonna tell as well, guys. Thanks so much, guys, for 40 likes as well. If you guys haven't already, make sure you're hitting that sub button as well. Would be very much appreciated. Yeah, look, we're doing all right here on the channel. Leman says, am I worth over 100k? I wish I was, Leman. I wish I was. I don't think I'm worth 10k. No, I'm not. 5 maybe out of push. Yeah, like I'm a long way from buying Manchester United. Don't worry, guys. But if I ever get the money together, we'll go in with a bid. Be 100%. We'll get rid of the Glazers if that's what it's going to be. Let's see. Luke is saying Havenhold is closing their Yarmouth at 8 days ago. Rajat says Big T and Qatar don't want to seem like a pushover. And if any of us move the debt onto them, the club don't have debt repayments and can invest its own money. Never mind gyms. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That can be done as well. Guys, thanks so much for 42 likes on the sub. And thanks for the 5 new people who have subscribed to the channel on tonight's show. Much appreciated. Sean is saying as well, you do a better show than Goldbridge. He just rants. I don't know about that. Like, Goldbridge can talk all day and he does like 5 streams a day as well, but much appreciated the compliment. And yeah, guys, look, I'm gonna leave the stream here. We should be live again tomorrow night, same time. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good Friday, and we will catch you guys, of course, for the weekend. And it's gonna be a big one. Let's hope it's a good one for Manchester United. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Have a good Thursday night and have a good Friday as well.